So I have with me here a piece of 6010. It's the red rod, 7018 and 6013. Now this machine is rated BestArc. I'm not going to say can't weld other materials, but what they're saying that it's best suited for is 6010, 6011, 6013, and 7018. I do not have 6011 here with me right now. So I have the 6010, 6013, 7018. They're all 3/32. 3/32 is 2.4 millimeters. So how the synergy works on this machine is when you come up here and this uppermost button is for rod thickness. So what it does, the synergy automatically when you select, let's see, so it goes up to a 4.0 millimeter diameter, down to a 1.6, up to a 2.0, up to a 2.5, which is just 2.4, close enough. So we're going to go with their synergy setting here. I left the hot start and arc force at the center of the range setting. It's 0 to 100. I have it set at 50 on both hot start and arc force. Okay. Typically, the hardest rod for me to get started is this thing right here. For some reason, these 6010s are just really sticky. They're hard for me to get started. Once they get welding, they weld fine. But for most of the cheaper welders, they have a real hard time getting that to start rocking. Interested in seeing what this BestArc dedicated stick welder can do. So this is 110 auto sensing, 220 volt combo. It has an adapter to get down to 110. This has VRD, which is a safety feature that when the welder's not in use, it cuts the voltage to the stick holder. It's supposed to reduce you getting shocked, getting hurt. So they're recommended like range or their sweet spot they feel this machine is for is a 3.2 millimeter rod and up to a 4.5 millimeter thick plate. Let's see, it's 25 millimeters in an inch, so that's less than a quarter. 3/8, I guess about 3/8 plate is like the sweet spot for this machine, they're saying. You can TIG with this machine. It has a TIG mode right here that you can enter. You have to buy a BestArc or similar TIG 17V TIG torch. That's a 17V torch, which is fairly common for a lot of the lesser expensive multi-purpose machines. My dogs are out there barking at every car that drives by. So the synergy mode on here, when you select your welding rod thickness, it matches the current to your electrode diameter. Now, once you've done that, you can still manually leave that and scroll where you want to go. So you could use that to ballpark you in for the rod that you're using. And if you don't like your weld for whatever reason, you can add or take away power as you see fit. All right. So I think that's about everything I could say. Let me look at my notes. Yep, everything's good. All right. Here's a typical grinder, just to give you an idea of size, like tiny, small, portable, affordable. Let's see how she welds. So I took a grinder and I ground this plate, all the mill scale off. Got some MIG gloves here, got a hood on. What hood am I wearing today? Let's see, it doesn't have a brand name on it. I'm not even sure. But I'll tell you what though, I have a bunch of inexpensive hoods that I've gotten. This one, I like the headgear. The headgear grips super well. Actually, it's too tight, as you just saw. So you can crack her back a little bit. That's still too tight. There you go. Nice little neck strap. Everything about this, I'll find out what it is. I'll put this link into the description for the hood. But the hood's really nice because, like I said, it grips your head really well. It has a nice thick foam here. You can adjust your head depth for to do that, which I've done. It has a battery and solar on the front. So as you can see right there, now it is only a 2-sensor auto darkening. But if you look inside, you can see there you have your test button, you have your sensitivity, your darkness, and there's your battery cover for your like watch style battery right there. It's not the hugest display, but it's enough, and it's very affordable, and it's very adjustable, and it fits very well. It like, of the cheap hoods that I have, this is, I'm going to say right now, my favorite. All right, I'll put a link, like I said. All right, should I start out with the hardest rod or the easiest rod? Let's go for let's go hard. Let's just see what happens here. This is the 6010. This is the rod that I hate the most in my life. There we go. Now this rod goes away really fast. I'll put it out. That one. Let me give it a quick. The one nice thing about that style rod, it doesn't build a giant flux cap over your weld. It like barely puts flux onto the weld. This will give you an idea of me playing with the weld rod that I hate the most, and it hates me, and it's pretty obvious, right? You can tell that. But that's the Weld 6010. I recommend buy it for people you don't like for Christmas, and then you can laugh. Okay. All right, here we go. 6013. This one's typically not near as disagreeable for me. So I'm gonna run this weld right beside this bead. We cleaned it off pretty good. We should be good. Let's see how it works out. There we go. All right, so didn't mind that one at all, right? Now this tends to be the rod that is like the easiest, the cheat code rod. This is the 7018. This rod's almost point and shoot with no real skill needed. Let's see here. Let's see if we can pop some of that off. I'll show it to you real quick. All right. Let me bring this one over to you. Okay, so that's the weld that we just put down. Nice profile, looks pretty good. How close can I get to you there? You can see that welded fine, no problem. All right, so now we're gonna go and let's pull some on here. See what this, I'll run a bead again right beside it. We'll just run right down here. Now, cheat code, why? Because this 7018, if you don't know how to get a stick welder started, you could like start laying on the part and then just rock up until you eventually get to a steep enough angle. It's going to get the tip to make the contact, and it's going to start, it's going to go, and you're just going to basically hold it plowed into the part. Like, I mean, not like pushing into the part, but just basically drive it lightly into the part and just keep running your little whatever style weld you want to run. These rods are just probably one of, if not the easiest arc welding rods to use. Just basically keeping it down. There we go. Cover a little bit more ground with this rod. All right. So now we laid that one right next to that last one. All right. Take our brush, polish it up a little bit. Got a little bit more crud in here. You could use a firmer wire brush also to dig into it and clean it a little bit easier. Let's see if that'll brush out of there now. We got right between these welds. I got a little bit of flux still trying to hang there. A couple spots. Yeah, you definitely, by the way, you want a pair of insulated like MIG gloves or stick gloves. TIG gloves are typically very thin and much less insulated. You see my gloves are smoking as I'm handling this. My hand's just now starting to feel warmth. These gloves are off of Amazon. I'll put a link for them. They're inexpensive, maybe, I forget, 15, 20 bucks. You just have to. You just have to. Okay. Now, from your point of view, this will be the bottom weld. All right. So there's that bottom weld. You see where I stopped right there, right in the center of the screen there. That's right where I flamed out, and I came back, and I thought I went back into it far enough with the slag, but I couldn't tell exactly where the weld was. But yeah, like this thing welds very nicely. I don't claim to be a fabulous stick welder. I think that this machine works very well. It's very small. It's very affordable. It's got a lot of varies going in its favor. The hot start, the arc force, you can play, like with that 6013 rod, you could probably add more to the hot start and try to overcome my lack of skill on trying to get that rod started. But interestingly, you see how that rod doesn't cover much. You look at how those are all 3/32. Let me get where I can see you here. But you see how that rod only gave me that much compared to the other two rods, right? Big difference there in the amount of coverage that you're getting out of them. But hell, that's a hell of a machine, man. Like if you're a guy that likes stick welding, and there's a lot of people that do, because it works outside, it works in the rain, it works like you can pull off stick welding in conditions, places, and material contamination levels that you could never pull off with MIG or TIG. Flux core MIG is the next step towards having the ability to go outside on the farm, run off of a generator or whatever. This arc welding is it is a great skill to have. It really is. There is absolutely times and places where nothing else will work. It's the right tool for the job. Arguably, I know some people, especially the old-time welders, feel that arc welding is typically the strongest weld. I don't know that I fully buy into that. I don't find MIG to be, less strong if properly applied. But hey, BestArc, they have arc welders, TIG welders, plasma cutters, MIG welders, multi-process machines. They have up to 250 amp machines. They have pretty much everything that they have is at a value price point, but higher quality than what the reduced price would suggest. So I'm thrilled with BestArc. I have 3 of them here. This one here is probably going to go down. I got a buddy of mine. We're going to be rebuilding a dump truck bed, and this is probably the machine I'll take down there to weld that dump truck bed. BestArc, I got nothing bad to say about them, buddy. They're good machines. Don't be afraid of them. I'll put links for everything. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share it if you want to. I would appreciate that too. But comment also. I do enjoy talking to y'all. Tell me what you think, what experiences you've had. Have you tried other Chinese welders? Maybe you think I should look at and compare to these. But of the Chinese welders in the more value-oriented price points, BestArc is by far my favorite. This right now, this is the winner for me. I could spend more. I could spend more on Yes Welders, Arc Captains, Everlast, like I said in the unboxing, and get at overall a slightly better welder. But it does come at a cost that could be 2-3 times more money than this. BestArc really puts value in homeowner welding. They really do. And there's no reason you should fear buying a BestArc product if you want to learn how to weld. Thank you, guys.